8 things about teff, the gluten-free Ethiopian superfood. Number 1. What is teff, the world's smallest grain? Aragrostis teff is an annual lovegrass species that is grown for its edible seeds called teff, which are cooked whole or used as a flour. Native to the Horn of Africa, it's the smallest type of grain used by humans, measuring about 1/100th the size of a kernel of wheat. The name in fact comes from the Amharic word teffa, meaning loss, probably making reference to the tiny seeds that can tend to get lost during the harvesting process. Teff's poppy seed-like size enables the whole grain to cook rather quickly, usually taking about 15 to 20 minutes on a stovetop. The most common kind of teff is a reddish-brown or deep mahogany color, but white teff, often referred to as ivory, is also now offered as the flour closely resembles other wheat flour types. We have noticed that some white seeds are usually found in bulk brown teff grain. Number 2. Gluten-free ancient grain. Teff, sometimes spelled T-E-F, is an ancient grain and one of the earliest plants first domesticated on the African continent, specifically from the country Ethiopia more than 6,000 years ago. Both teff and rice are seeds from the grass family and classified as minor cereals, rather than main cereals like wheat, rye, or barley, or non-grass pseudo-cereals like quinoa. Teff contains no gluten and is therefore one to add to your list of gluten-free grain options such as millet, quinoa, buckwheat, amaranth, and sorghum. When using teff grain or flour on a strict gluten-free diet, it is best to purchase bulk products that come from a certified gluten-free facility. Ethiopia once grew over 90% of the world's teff, but their government banned exports at one point to ensure domestic supply. Now other countries have started to marginally cultivate. Despite its great potential, it is currently a lesser-known variety, but expected to become more popular due to wider availability. Number 3. An Ethiopian superfood. Teff is a top staple to accompany most meals in Ethiopian cuisine, either as a cooked grain or flatbread. It is also commonly used in other parts of the Horn of Africa, like Eritrea, but less frequently in Somalia. What is teff good for? Well, one of its benefits is as a plant-based, protein-rich food source known for its high concentration of essential amino acids. It is especially rich in lysine, which is often lacking in other grains and therefore an important nutrient for vegetarians and vegans. Teff, as an Ethiopian superfood, is estimated to provide for nearly 2/3 of all daily protein in the Ethiopian diet. A 1-cup serving of cooked teff contains about 9.8 grams of protein, 19% of the daily value. It even has more protein than amaranth or quinoa. It's hence a good alternative for vegan diets to increase daily protein consumption. Along with amaranth, cooked teff is also very high in calcium, with 1 cup providing approximately 123.5 milligrams of calcium, or 12% of the daily value based on a 2,000 calorie adult diet. Number 4. What is Injera? Injera is a traditional sourdough flatbread made from ground teff flour and water. After the batter is poured on a griddle, it quickly develops bubbles and a spongy texture that has the thickness between a crepe and a pancake. In Ethiopian and Eritrean tradition, large injera flatbread, usually about 20 inches in diameter, is served underneath various foods such as lentils, cooked greens, and wat, a thick meat stew. Since most meals are eaten with one's hands, not utensils, pieces of injera are flexible and easily torn to scoop up entrees and side dishes. Although you can use yeast or a sourdough starter to speed up the process, the Ethiopian rendition is often a wild fermentation, simply allowing the flour-water mixture to ferment for up to 3 days depending on room temperature. Making fermented, homemade injera flatbread can be a great way to get all the nutritional benefits that teff has to offer, as cultured foods tend to be more digestible. Number 5. Teff nutrition facts. Along with a good amount of protein content, teff is also quite high in dietary fiber. Compared to other gluten-free grains or cereals, has 7.1 grams of fiber or 28% of the daily value per 1 cup serving. It contains a good amount of resistant starch, which like polenta, will gelatinize and mold to the shape it's stored in. Teff is a good source of B vitamins, especially thiamine, but also B6, niacin, and folate. We already mentioned it's very high in calcium. It likewise contains significant amounts of manganese, iron, copper, zinc, along with trace amounts of other minerals such as magnesium, phosphorus, and potassium. 1 cup of cooked teff is about 255 calories, a little higher than other grains. Number 6. Ways to use teff. Teff can be used in 2 ways, as a grain or as a flour. The whole seeds are simmered with water like when making other types of grains. However, teff will produce a porridge-like consistency that can be eaten straight as a breakfast cereal, made into a polenta, or added to thickened soups and stews. Teff flour is of course the base of Injera flatbread, but can be used when making homemade pasta, pancakes, waffles, bread, or other baked goods. Teff has a mild, nutty, earthy taste. Number 7. How to cook teff. Generally, to completely cook teff, a 4:1 water to grain ratio is required. However, some people may prefer a chewier texture for recipes, so less water is typically used. How to cook teff stovetop method. 1 cup teff grain, 4 cups of pure filtered water, 1/8 teaspoon of pink salt. 1. Rinse teff grain and strain the water. 2. Using a stovetop method, boil water and then add teff and salt. 3. Place the lid on the pot, reduce heat to low and stir occasionally. 4. Cooks fast in about 15 to 20 minutes. Visit the description box of this video for how to cook teff in an instant pot. Number 8. Grain of the future. While teff is not currently as popular as other minor cereals or pseudo-cereals, it has great promise for the future of human nutrition. As a domesticated crop, it is another hardy species able to resist drought as well as withstand waterlogged conditions. It is easy to grow in a wide range of environments and requires less fuel to cook. It also offers versatility as a grass and fodder for livestock. Precautions. Consult your healthcare professional before consuming teff on a regular basis if you are pregnant, nursing, have a serious health condition, or are taking any medications. Thanks for watching! For sources of high-quality teff, as well as additional in-depth info, be sure and investigate the links in the description box below this video. Please support the channel by giving this video a thumbs up if you found it useful. And why not check out these other informative videos?